research on contrarelated material without authorization of the contrarelated.
Expose evil here. Like, share, subscribe. Today I'm doing a video about Manly P. Hall in this book saying that Freemasonry is the worship of Pan. Pan being the same as the Baphomet, which was created by Eliphas Levi, which is also a Freemason, and this is also the same as the Gold of Mendes. Now, this book is called The Secret Teachings of All Ages, Masonic, Hermetic, Kabbalistic, and Rosicrucian Symbolic Philosophy. Before I read the rest of the title, I want to speak about Hermetics, or the study of Hermes, also known as Hermes Trismegistus, or Thoth from Egypt. And Thoth is accredited with writing the Book of the Dead, which is a book of satanic spells that Satanists use today. And the Kabbalistic part, or the Kabbalah, is the same as the Kundalini, or Thoth's Tree of Life, and whatever fake Atlantis stuff that they believe, which really just goes back to the city of Babylon, and the flood being representation of, Atlantis going under being representation of the flood, of how all the giants died. So, being an interpretation of the secret teachings concealed within rituals and allegories and mysteries of all ages by Manly P. Hall. Printed for Manly P. Hall, San Francisco, by H.S. Crocker Company, Incorporated. Okay. See page 35, 78 on this PDF. They got a picture of Pan, and he talks about him from someone else's book. Then later on in the book, in page 176, straight up says, Masonry came to northern Africa and Asia Minor from the lost continent of Atlantis, not under its present name, but rather under the general designation sun and fire worship. The ancient mysteries did not cease to exist when Christianity became the world's most powerful religion. Great Pan did not die. Freemasonry is the proof of his survival. Now here's a close-up of Pan from the Secret Teachings of All Ages that he got from another book. And here it says the hieroglyphical representation of Jupiter, or Pan. So, according to Manly P. Hall, or the person who wrote that book that Manly P. Hall took this picture from, seems like they believe that Pan is Jupiter. Now, take a note of that, and I'm going to show you something later about Jupiter. Now we see here in the Disney Hercules movie, they have Pan. He's the one who actually trained Hercules in the movie. You should always be able to tell Pan who Pan is, because he always has the goat legs and the horns. This is what he looked like in Pan's Labyrinth. Notice the spirals on the forehead. Spirals represent the spirit world, or going into the spirit world. Same as the eight-pointed star, or the Star of Ishtar, with the spiral going through it, representing the 8 points of time and space. Now in the movie, after she had spilled her blood into that symbol, whatever it did, it opened up the portal and she was able to come here. And in the movie, she was supposedly a queen. And in this picture from Pan's Labyrinth, you can see the sun in the background, the obvious symbolism of sun worship for their sun god Nimrod. And then you can see the door shapes over here in the corner are shaped like keyholes. Just like in the Disney Hercules cartoon of the town that was shaped like a keyhole that he had destroyed. Now this is symbolism for the key to hell. Same as the Vatican in the Vatican City. Same as the city in Greece. Notice the obelisk in the middle, representing a phallus or male genitalia. Now let's take a look at the Webster's Deluxe Unabridged Dictionary 2nd edition. And we're going to get, sometimes we get two definitions for each name. And the second definition will be coming from this back. From the back of the dictionary, called A Dictionary of Noted Names in Fiction, Mythology, and Legend. Now they said Pan was Jupiter, right? So Jupiter, from Old Jovis, Jove, or Pater. In Roman mythology, the god ruling over all other gods and all people, identified with the Greek Zeus. It's also the largest planet in the solar system and the fifth and distant from the sun. Okay? Now the dictionary in the back, the small one, on the names, the supreme Roman deity, also called Jove, son of Saturn, identified with the Greek Zeus. Now we go to Zeus, the supreme deity of the ancient Greeks, son of Kronos and Rhea, and husband of Hera, identified by the Romans with Jupiter. In the back, the Greek name for Jupiter. Now, as you see, Pan is no more than the father of Hercules, who is Zeus. So, in the movie, you see how they show him as two different characters. This is because it's all lies, nothing but lies, made up characters representing the same people. Nimrod, Semiramis, Tammuz, or Satan. This is all Satanism. Now that we understand that Pan is Zeus or Jupiter, now let's link them to Egypt. Amun. In ancient Egypt, the name for Zeus or Jupiter. In the back, Amun, an ancient Egyptian deity identified by the Greeks and Romans with Zeus and Jupiter, represented with the head or horns of a ram. So right there, we know from Pan's Labyrinth, or from Disney's Hercules, how is Pan represented? With the horns of a ram on his head, just like Amun. Now that we know that Pan is no more than Jupiter, Zeus, Jove, or Amun, I want to show you how these same gods are exposed in the Bible, but under a different name. Because you got to remember, in Genesis, when they were building the Tower of Babel, Genesis 11:7 and 11:8, God confused he seen what they were doing down there. He went down and confused their languages and spread them over all the earth. This is the way the languages got mixed up. This is the way these gods got so many different names. Because they're really all the same gods. These are nothing more than demons. Demons of Satan. And it is said that Nimrod is a demon. He does have a place in the dark kingdom of Satan, working as a demonic spirit. This is what's believed. Now you go to Ezekiel 8:14, Weeping for Tammuz. I did several videos on it. You go down, it says, mention is made in Plato of Themis, a king that reigned at Thebes over all Egypt, and was the god called Amun. No doubt the same with this Tammuz. Tammuz is the son of Nimrod, and in their belief, they believe that Nimrod reincarnated in Tammuz. So they believe Nimrod is Tammuz. And I just want to say that this is the summer solstice that started on the 21st of June. They went down to the Stonehenge or the Georgia Guidestones and celebrated this ritual that we call the weeping of Tammuz, exposed in Ezekiel 8, vision of idolatry. And it says here, the Chaldean calendar, there was a month set apart in honor of this god. It's called the month of Tammuz, which is June in our month. The month of June to July, the beginning of the summer solstice, at the festival which lasted 6 days. The worshippers with loud lamentations bewailed the funeral of the god that sat weeping for Tammuz. Now I want you to know that this started on the 21st and it's going on right now as we speak. It's going to be kidnappings of children and babies, and they're going to murder and eat them. Okay? This is well-known rites in Satanism. If you do a simple search on the internet of the god Pan, you get another name called Akamim, which is another name for him. It says was known in ancient Egypt as Ipu, Apu, Kentmin. It was the capital of the 9th Chemite, which is the same as Hamite, like Ham, the son of Noah, because this is where Nimrod came from. He's the son of Ham. None of Upper Egypt. The city is a suggested hometown for Yuya, the official Thutmosis V and Amenhotep III. Ithyphallic men. Phallic is a male genitalia, whom the Greeks identified with Pan, was worshipped here as a strong Horus. Herodotus mentions the temple dedicated to Perseus, and asserts that Chemis, which is Hamis, like Ham, like the Hamites, was remarkable for the celebration of games in honor of that hero. That's all we need to really read. What I really wanted to show you is that they're identifying Pan with Min or Menu, and he was worshipped as Horus, the son of Osiris, and Osiris is Horus. So now it will make sense when we go back and we read the book The Master Masons that was released by the Grand Lodge of Free and Accepted Masons of Indiana, and it makes sense when they say Osiris is Tammuz and Bacchus and Dionysus. Master Mason, authorized by the Grand Lodge of Free and Accepted Masons of Indiana. Page 9 and 10. The idea that lies behind the Homeric legend is as old as religious thinking among men. Homeric is obviously Hermabith. The same elements existed in the story of Osiris, which we already linked Harem to Osiris, which was celebrated by the Egyptians in their ancient temples. The old Persians told it concerning Mithras, their hero god. In Syria, the Dionysian mysteries had the very same elements in the story of Dionysus. For the Romans, Bacchus was the god who died and lived again. There is also the story of Timaeus, older than any of these. These are collectively referred to as the ancient mysteries. They were celebrated by secret societies, much like ours, in allegorical ceremonies, during which the nations were advanced from one degree to another in these old societies. Read these old stories for yourself and marvel how men in all ages have taught the same great truths in the same effective way. There you go. Now we go to BibleHub.com. You type in ham and you put dictionary, and you get Bible dictionaries on whatever word you put in that's in the Bible. Now you go to International Standard Bible, we scroll down, and we get number 3, meaning of the word. Like I was saying, why Chem or Chemit means ham. It says that Ham is connected with the native name of Egypt, Kem, or in full, Pate and Kem, the land of Egypt. In Bushmurian, Coptic Kem is unlikely, as this form is probably of a much later date than the composition of Genesis. And moreover, as the Arabic shows, the guttural is not the true k, but the hard breathing h, which are both represented by the Hebrew kith. But do you see Ham is connected with the native name of Egypt, Kem. So Ham is Kem. And they also call Egypt Kemet, when they call, the magic Kemetic science. So you're really just saying Hamitic. because it all comes from Ham. These are Ham's people. I don't believe it's Ham actually himself, because we know Nimrod was the one from his line that, didn't follow God's ways. He went with the devil. He went with Satan. It's Kabbalistic, zodiac, astrology, Satanism. Now we scroll more. What the? And what you see here says Professor F.L. Griffith has pointed out that the Egyptian Priapic god of Panopolis, Akhmim, which is Pan, Panopolis is named after Pan, sometimes called Menu, or Min, M-I-N, but also apparently known as Kim, as Ham, may have been identified with the ancestor of the Hamitic race. He was worshipped from the coast of the Red Sea, Coptos, and must have been well known to Egypt's eastern neighbors. He regards the characteristics of Menu as being in accord with the shamelessness of Ham, as recorded in Genesis 9:20. I couldn't find anything with men in the Webster's or Manu in the Webster's, but in the Egyptian Masonic Satanic Connection by David L. Carrico, and I give credit to these other people, Rick Dunninger and psychotherapist Wendy Hoffman. Page 59 shows sexual magic practices that are used by modern occult groups were performed to fine art by the ancient Egyptian magicians. The following example of a spell to seduce a married woman is from Ancient Egyptian Magic by Bob Breer. I'm not going to read it. The following picture of the Egyptian sex god Min is from Coming into Light, Rituals of Egyptian Magic by Gerald and Betty Schaller. Another formula of sex magic used by the ancient Egyptians was for purposes of the enhancing fertility and fecundity were embedded in the god Amusu, whose name is literally the formula of fertility. Amusu, or Min, was also called Menu, not to be confused with the god Methu, the warrior lord of Thebes, and was always depicted in epiphallic form. Like they said, Manu became the Greek god Pan, whose sexual exploits are legendary, and appropriate prayers should be addressed to Amus Manu before sex to assure a son or daughter. How perverse, how evil. And this would be also the same. Oh yeah, I told you Priapus, I believe. I don't know if I told you. Priapus, the son of Dionysus, son of Zeus, or is it Hercules? One of them, Hercules' brother or something like that. And I'm gonna close off. If you don't believe about these people worshiping Nimrod, take it from their own book. You can get it online, just like I got it. Here goes the history of Freemasonry, its legends and traditions, its chronological history by Mackie Albert Gatlin. And what I'm gonna show you is in Volume 1, said by Albert Gatlin Mackie. Okay. Where he argues that Solomon wasn't the first Grand Master. He says it should be Nimrod. We see, therefore, that the Masons, this is page 62. We see, therefore, that the Masons of the present day are wrong when they make Babel or Babylon the symbol of intellectual darkness, and suppose that the light of Masonry was for a time extinguished and to be re-illuminated only at the Temple of Solomon. And again, the legend of the craft indicates his character and correctly clothes an historical fact of symbolic language when it portrays Babylonia, which is undoubtedly the fountain of all Semitic science and agriculture, as also the birthplace of operative masonry. Sorry, it's this page that he argues. It says the universal sentiment of the Masons of the present day, and I believe this is 63. The universal sentiment of the Masons of the present day is to confer upon Solomon, king of Israel, the honor of being the first Grand Master. But the legend of the craft had long before there was a tradition of the temple extant, bestowed at least by implication that title upon Nimrod, the king of Babylonia and Assyria. It says here, the craft have in both forms of the legend recognized Nimrod as a great mason, nor have the vituperations of Josephus and the scandalous legends of the Orientalists had the slightest effect on their apparent estimation of that mighty monarch, the founder of nations and the builder of cities. See? He's the first brick mason building the Tower of Babel or the city of Babylon. And see here they talk about he built many other places, made it to Asia, Egypt, India, everywhere from Genesis 11:8.